Hello Aquarius, welcome to your mid-March 2021 tarot reading. This is a bit late because it was meant to be March, but I obviously missed you guys somehow. I think it was maybe because I was putting up more videos than usual and I didn't realise, so I apologise. I'll make this one longer for you as a way of saying sorry. So this is going to be for the mid-monthly points. Basically the start of March was kind of for you. There was kind of some welcome stuff going on, I'm not going to lie, because Mars in Gemini is so much more comfortable with you. It's going to be benefiting your sun, and I just feel a little bit like you need that. Saturn touching your sign isn't easy. As someone who has a stellium, which means I have 3 planets in one sign, and they're all conjunct, they're all very close degrees. So I remember when Saturn was in my sign, I actually remember it really very fondly for a lot of things, but I do remember at one point feeling like I was getting a really hard lesson. And so I know that probably sounds really strange that I've just said I remember it fondly, but I remember it fondly as in there were so many opportunities, and I'm sort of understanding and observing celebrities, because I watch celebrity charts sometimes to see what happens then with their transits. It's just what astrology nerds do. And I'm particularly interested for you because I've seen it hit a lot of Aquarians really very hard, but I've also noticed that it will reward Aquarius and Aquarius rising and even Aquarius moon where you've been good. I did notice with Saturn going through my sign all those years ago that from doing things well in certain areas, I received a lot of reward. So Saturn's like that. Saturn's basically a teacher, you know, will give you detention if you do something really bad, but will give you high marks and help you where you're putting in the work or you get the qualifications, that type of thing, provided you've had good teachers in your life. I know all of us have had some that are not so good, but we've had ones that we remember well, you know, and the ones you remember well are usually the ones who are really very good. And Saturn's like that, even though Saturn is a malefic. But Saturn is now linking with Mars and Gemini, and there is a drive for you to do better at something. There's a drive for you to improve some area of your life, and that energy boost is something you need. But also in Pisces season, sometimes the fog can be a lot, and for you it's over your finances, it's over your worth. And I just want to remind you today, if you need the reminder, that you should not take less than you deserve. You should not settle. You should not accept crumbs where you deserve a full loaf of bread or a cake or any of those things that are really delicious. You deserve more than scraps. So if you need that reminder, there it is. If you don't need that reminder and you're very much in that Piscean energy with Venus there saying, I know what I deserve and I'm not going to settle, good. Good, I like it. So let's have a little look into your cards, Aquarius, and see what we get for you. Strength, perfect. Your opposite energy, Leo. It teaches you things that you need to know. And with the Strength card, you're experiencing a need to be calm, to be patient in working with something that feels either risky, dangerous in whatever way, maybe in a matter of the heart, you're just feeling a little bit scared, you're just feeling a little bit worried about opening up or being with somebody, or you have an opportunity that you really want to take and you're just nervous about it. Maybe you have an interview coming up and you're nervous about that, or maybe you have seen a job you want to apply for, or you've seen somebody that you think is really cute and you want to tell them, or something like that. Basically somewhere where you need to be strong, you need to be confident, and you need to be poised. The Page of Swords is, for you, those moments where you act impulsively with words and they don't come out quite right. So you're thinking about something you want to say, and if you want to say it, Aries season is the time to do it. With the Sun and Venus in Aries, you're going to feel as though you can speak a lot more smoothly. You can express yourself a lot better. You can move to the next level with something, especially in a relationship or in a parent-child dynamic where there is friction. It's about moving to the next point calmly, and it's to do with calm communication. In Aries season, your communication sector has lit up. It is where you find you can express yourself really well. You can articulate your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, your ideas, and you can go with that. And it seems to be something that moves you along. There seems to be a conversation in the middle of March that moves you towards something you want. It's either a conversation, it's either an interview, it's either it's some kind of conversation, it's some kind of exchange of ideas, of thoughts, of facts, of figures, of feelings. It's something that progresses you to the next stage, and it's something that you've had to be patient with, because the strength with the major arcana here, what I'm kind of getting for you is that you are very ready for whatever it is. You've been patient. You've probably done a lot of work with yourself where you've tried to be more patient, or you've thought about things, you've thought things through. And that's really poignant, actually, because the more that Saturn is in your sign and the slower you take things, the more you think things through, the better the reward. Saturn has a funny way, especially in people's birth charts or their horoscopes, Saturn has a funny way of really making you wait for things where you are impatient. And that can feel very frustrating. But as someone who's experienced that with their own personal chart, what I will say to you is this. Whenever you get the reward for the lesson, for the tough lesson, or for the lesson that you didn't think you'd ever get, when you get the reward for something like that, it is verging on perfection. You know, that's where the expression good things come to those who wait. That's where it comes from, where you've had this really tough lesson. And so I want to say this to any of you that are experiencing at the moment a really hard lesson in life, or you're feeling like something's being withheld from you for the universe, or you just feel like there's something in your life you've been grappling with that's been really hard to get. That's a sign that you're going to get it, and when you get it, it's going to be better than you could have imagined. That's just the truth. Anything that comes easy can be taken for granted, but when you have this thing, it's more than what you expected. It's that Four of Wands energy, the happiness, it's the idyllic image, it's the house, it's the garden, it's the kids, it's the pets, it's the love, it's the different type of things, it's the blue skies, it's the green grass, it's the flowers in bloom, it's the stability of the four. It's all these things. Whatever this is that you're looking for, it's all these things. And I think for a lot of you that are experiencing at the moment maybe this irritating type of patience where you're waiting for something to be yours, you're waiting for something to happen for you, the end of March brings to you an understanding that what you say and what you hear are all very important into how you get there. Listen in the second half of March and April. Listen, because there's answers in the air. When the Sun and Venus connect in your third house, there's answers there. There is a language of love. There is a language of understanding, of benefits. So when your communication sector gets lit up with positive energy, it means that you can express yourself better, but it also means that information you need comes to you easier. Facts come to you easier. You're able to express yourself with a witty rapport. Not that you can't anyway, but a witty rapport. You're able to ask for what you need. Let's dig a little deeper. Some of you are just waiting for a conversation that'll give you closure, that'll just give you a chance to move on, to move forward. Some of you are waiting for something to happen that needs to happen in order for you to clear the way more than anything else. Because some of you are feeling really very stuck, and I understand that because Saturn can do that too. But where you're feeling really very stuck or really very trapped, as I said before, where you just can't see the future clearly, where you just can't see how this is going to go, where you feel like something's constantly evading you, it's not the concept that's evading you, it's showing you that sometimes we can't always have exactly what we want, because sometimes what we want is based on an idea that's false. Sometimes you think you want a specific person, but that person is horrible for you. It's not that love is evading you, it's that the universe doesn't want you to settle for something that's not right. And the more you force it, the more you'll exhaust yourself, the more you'll be tired. Or the more you chase something that is someone else's, the more you'll find yourself in this place of negativity, having things taken from you. You know, you don't have to force anything that's truly meant to be, but there's no point in giving up on the idea that something is actually working out for you, or that something is actually working out in your favor, that something is going to be what it is that you want. And when you have that idea, with the Fool here, when you free yourself up to more possibilities, to opening your mind, to opening your thinking, that's when your carefree attitude comes back. The Fool, that's where you can move forward. That's where you can progress on a new chapter, on a new journey, one that's better for you, one that makes sense. That's when you get your clarity, Ace of Swords, on this new path, on this new venture, on this new horizon that maybe you've been rejecting for a while because you're stubborn. Sometimes you're stubborn, let's be honest. I'm an Aquarius moon. I won't fight it. Six of Cups. Something that's more meant to be. So whatever you feel like is being withheld for you or restricted for you is because you're being redirected to something better. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, where things are actually manifesting for you and things are moving, don't doubt yourself. As I mentioned with Saturn, and I'm sorry to mention Saturn so much, but it is in your sign, and this is important, where you're moving forward with something in your life, but you doubt that you deserve it, or that it's meant to be yours, or you worked really hard for this, where you've worked really hard for this job or this opportunity, don't doubt yourself. It's funny, I think it's an Aquarian thing. I could be wrong. I think it's an Aquarian thing. But Aquarians can sometimes have this urge for things that are really they seem out of reach. And it's not because you really want the thing, because when the thing manifests, you're sort of like, I don't know if I want this anymore. I just wanted to know if I could reach it. Sometimes with you guys, it's just about the vision into the future, the vision of possibility, defying the odds, escaping the paradigm for you. The paradigm that you should be aiming for at the moment is a new beginning in some area of your life that you've really wanted for a long time, but not necessarily in the format that you've experienced it. So if that sounds complicated, let me try and figure out how to word that better. Say it's a job you've been applying for that you didn't get, but you thought you really wanted this job, and then you applied for another one that you thought you really wanted and you didn't get it. So you can feel as though my dream job, career, opportunity is evading me so much, and you're thinking that's just because Saturn's going to restrict everything for me. No. When you accept that those were not right for me, the universe knows better, there's something in this that means they were not in my life, at least not for this right time, the more you suddenly have this opening, this open attitude, this open-ended question where possibilities and answers can start to present themselves that look a little bit different to what you were trying to figure out. And I think this is something all fixed signs need to figure out at some point. But with Saturn in your sign, I just want to say this, the right thing will come along, especially if it's karmic, especially if it's meant to teach you a lesson, and maybe the lesson's a really good one. In fact, the lesson will be a good one, but maybe it's an easier one to swallow. Maybe it's something you really need to learn, need to know, but it sets you up for a new journey that feels a lot more like you. Feels a lot more carefree, a lot more creative. You're more able to be who you are, to express yourself. It has more freedom, the opportunity that you're looking for. And maybe that's why certain things have evaded you, because you need something with a bit more freedom, a bit more transparency, a bit more openness. And it feels a bit more like home. It feels a bit more like you. That's kind of what I'm seeing for you. Some things just come in better packaging. Let's do your spirit animal for the rest of March and see what we get. That's exactly the message. The elephant. That is exactly the elephant. Some things don't work out the way you thought they would because something better is meant to come along. That is telling. Elephants walked the world when it was new. They have more experience, more wisdom. They have an idea of how things will play out because they have trust. And sometimes lessons can only really be felt in hindsight anyway. And so if you're not seeing things very clearly at the moment, you will down the line see this time frame as very clearly, because Saturn always has a plan. Saturn doesn't just teach things, and that's, I think, where we have to tap into the wisdom. In certain experiences that we have in life, sometimes other people know better than we do. Saturn's very like that. Saturn is very much like the professor who has experienced and seen really a lot of things, but who's also themselves made mistakes. Let's not forget that. And so with the elephant card, I think for you it's saying that whatever is evading you at the moment, whatever doesn't feel within reach, whatever feels tricky, you have an inner voice that is telling you that this is teaching me something. It's letting me know something. It's also paving a pathway, because who forges a path quite like an elephant? There's wisdom in everything that's going on at the moment, but what I do like for this month for you, Aquarius, is that there is a new beginning based on truth, and it seems to come through conversations. It seems to come through overdue conversations. It seems to come through heart to hearts. It seems to come through online interactions. It seems to come with admissions. It seems to come with a dialogue, an opening. There's a lot of swords here. You can be really very in your head when you don't have the truth. And when you feel like you don't have the truth, you can lose touch with your wisdom, with your knowledge that everything will reveal itself eventually. Nothing stays hidden. And that's important, because that type of wisdom makes the journey so much smoother and opens your mind to the opportunities. Tunnel vision doesn't suit you, but it happens you when you're anxious. It happens you when you're worried about the future, when you're unsure of your path. But there's a new path opening here anyway. And you might want to reject it because things haven't worked out thus far. You might want to reject it because it feels like the same old, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's a new path with some kind of meaning in your life. Maybe. Fertility. It's the perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. Perfect. So Easter. Easter is around the corner. You can bet that before Easter, a new pathway is forming for you. And I'm pretty sure there's something significant about it. Fifth chakra, your throat chakra, speaking your truth. Feeling like you can express yourself, communicate authentically. It's all pretty in sync, this reading. So I will list an extended part to this below, and I will see you there. Talk to you soon, Aquarius.